the National Democratic Congress is rejecting calls for a probe into the death of former President Mills under the insistence that the details of the demise is public knowledge. This comes on the heels of 4 majority MPs filing a private member's motion for the committee to be set up. The MPs say this will settle the mystery surrounding the former president's death. But the late president's brother disagrees. We'll hear the General Secretary of the NDC, Johnson Asiedu Nketia, about this emerging controversy. But first, here's a news desk report.
This year marks 10 years since former President John Evans Atta Mills died. His health status became a talking point when some, including the NPP opposition at the time, raised concerns about his absence at some national events. In fact, rumors were rife that he had died and government officials were tight-lipped on the matter. But in a move to debunk the rumors, Professor Atta Mills, upon arrival from a trip abroad, jogged in the presence of journalists. In June 2012, the former president left Ghana for a medical checkup in the US. Later, he told party supporters and journalists doctors had given him the all clear.
I have just arrived from the US where I undertook a regular medical checkup. Thank God, everything is okay.
But everything was not okay. Shortly after, on July 24, John Evans Atta Mills died. There have been questions surrounding the exact cause of his death. His brother, Dr. Cadman Mills, later disclosed he had died from complications of a massive hemorrhagic stroke resulting from a brain aneurysm. But now, 4 MPP MPs want to settle the facts and mystery surrounding the former president's death. Majority Chief Whip Frank Annor Dompreh is leading the group.
It has been 10 years. Then this call should have come earlier. We must set the record straight. We know it's a delicate call. We are doing this not out of malice. It's a pure out of patriotism.
But Samuel Atta Mills, brother to the late president, says the motion is needless.
Why are they trying to cry more than the bereaved? You care about Professor Mills than Honorable J.D. Dankwedra, who was murdered at his house. Have you investigated that? Why? But let me tell you something. Professor Mills is the only sitting president who has passed on so far. Who has passed on so far? Annor Dompreh, I respected you.
It remains to be seen whether the move by the majority is born out of malice or patriotism.
Well, the General Secretary of the NDC, Johnson Asiedu Nketia, says there's no basis for the investigations into the death of the former President John Mills.
First of all, honestly, I don't understand what the MPs want Parliament to investigate. The purpose of any investigation is to find out maybe something that is not on public record, or there is some occurrence which is shrouded in some secrecy, and or the circumstances of which suggest that there could have been some foul play and all that. So far, I don't have any record to suggest that Professor Mills's death, when there is something about Professor Mills's death that is not in the public domain. So I would like to understand what is it that Parliament is supposed to look for.
Well, Mr. Asiedu Nketia, they say that there are some mysteries surrounding the death of the president. It is not very clear exactly what caused his death and under which circumstances for which they want the probe to settle.
That Professor Mills didn't die and he was buried, or that there was some accident, the circumstances of the accident are not understood, or what? As far as I'm concerned, this is somebody who was sick. He was in the company of, people 24/7. When the illness deteriorated, he was sent to a hospital, a reputable hospital of record. And the passing happened when he was still in the hands of competent medical men. Is it the case that the doctors have suggested something fishy which needs to be investigated? Or is it the case that his medical records are not available for anybody who so wishes to find out anything about the cause of his death will not get it? In fact, Parliament cannot be pushed to establish a committee to look for something that is already on public record.
Well, the minority in Parliament says it will hold the Majority Chief Whip, Frank Annor Dompreh, to the Privileges Committee over alleged falsification of names of MPs in support of the probe into the death of Professor John Evans Atta Mills. Four NPP MPs, including Frank Annor Dompreh, filed a private member's motion asking Parliament to set up a bipartisan committee to investigate the circumstances leading to the death of Professor Mills. But the Deputy Minority Chief Whip, Ahmed Ibrahim, is alleging that two NPP MPs out of the four had no knowledge of the said motion, a situation he believes amounts to perjury. Ahmed Ibrahim has been speaking to my colleague, Kwesi Parker-Wilson.
All that the leader of the majority and the leader of the House, led by his bench, all they can do to falsify signatures of their members and file a motion because they did that just after and we didn't talk. I have spoken to the two other MPs. Right. I've spoken to OPK and I've spoken to Ninoy. They said they have no idea of the motion.
They have no idea of the motion.
They are not party to the motion.
They are signatories.
And this amount to perjury.
But I've seen the motion. They are signatories to the
motion. They have written to their leadership to withdraw their names from it because they saw it on social media. They did not take part in the draft of the motion and signatures. And I went to the speaker to cross-check. It is only Annor Dompreh whose signature is on the motion.
Honorable, this is the majority caucus and it's the leadership decision.
They
consult, they engage.
I've spoken to OPK. He said he was not party to the motion. He did not sign any motion. I've spoken to Ninoy. He said he was not party to the motion. He did not sign any motion. I've gone to the Speaker's office. It is only Annor Dompreh whose signature is on the motion. However, the people who are being insulted on social media, they are saying that the four stupid fools that they have brought to social media, they've included Ninoy and as if they are party to the motion. Meanwhile, they have confided in me. You saw me when I was speaking to Ninoy. Right. I was speaking to OPK on phone. They've both said they are not, this is impersonification. They are not party to this motion.
That's perjury. What's the minority going to do about this, sir?
I went to my minority leader's office. He was not there. I went to Chief Youth Office, not the Parliament is sitting. So what we are going to do as minority, will meet on this.